Love does not seek its own. Selfishness is the exact opposite of love. When a mother loves her child, she puts the child first. And when a husband loves his wife, he puts his wife first. Christ loved the church and demonstrated that by putting the church first. Here in the love chapter, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we're now in verse 5. And love, we are being told, is not selfish. I want to take another look at something that Paul wrote in Philippians. Philippians chapter 2. If you have a Bible, go ahead and turn to Philippians chapter 2. And we are going to read several verses at the beginning of this chapter. Starting in verse 1. Therefore, if there is any consolation in Christ, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any affection and mercy, fulfill my joy by being like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done with selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem others better than himself. Let each of you look out not only for his interest, but also for the interests of others. That takes us through verse 4. The Apostle Paul is tying love with altruism. What is altruism? Kind of a big word, isn't it? But altruism is the act of being unselfish. Putting others first, or putting the community first, putting a principle before one of our own selfish desires. And that is the act of love. And this is what we see in the whole plan of salvation. Jesus Christ, as we understand the scriptures tell us, that Jesus Christ existed in heaven before he came here. And then he transformed himself into a baby. He went into the womb of Mary and was born as a baby. But before that, he was in heaven. And before that, he was the creator. Jesus Christ created this whole universe. And we know that from the first chapter in John. Why don't we flip? Let's go to the Gospel of John real quick, just to confirm who we are talking about here. So we go to the first chapter of John, and it tells us that Jesus was with God from the beginning. Very first verse in the first chapter of John we'll read. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And he was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him nothing was made that was made. In him was life, and the life was light of men, and the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. See, this term that he's using, this word, is actually a term that Plato used before, because John is relating this to this ultra-intelligent being. In verse 14, it assures us that he's talking about Jesus. It says, "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth." So this is Jesus Christ that was with the Father in the very beginning. Understand that Jesus knew when he created all of the earth. He knew that there was going to be rebellion. He knew that man was going to have to be saved. It didn't catch him by surprise. He knew that he was going to have to go to the cross and die for us. And yet he sacrificed himself from the beginning of the world when he decided to create us. It's not like he was surprised when Adam and Eve fell. He knew it was going to happen. But my friends, that is love. That is the greatest demonstration of unselfishness. God wanted a relationship with us. He created us so that he could have a relationship with us. He wants a relationship with you. And he knew that Adam and Eve were going to fall. He knew that the human race would go into rebellion. He knew he was going to have to die on the cross to redeem us. But he wanted the relationship with us. So he was willing to go to the cross so that he could have that relationship with us. That, my friends, that is love.